Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're talking about Lattafa's blend of Lattafa. All right, Khalta Lattafa blend of Lattafa is from the House of Lattafa. Allegedly, because I can't find any information about this fragrance anywhere, including the Lattafa website. It does have the authentication hologrammy thing on the back of this, but other than that, I have no idea where this came from. The Lattafa does not have this listed. I picked this up randomly when I was shopping for some other fragrances and I saw this and I'm just like, what is this? I've never heard anything about this. So of course I had to buy it because no one's talking about this fragrance and I wanted to see what it's all about. Very, very confusing box though, because it has Eau d'Extrait on the front, but on the back, it has Eau de Parfum. And I mean, I know a thing or two about fragrances, but I've never heard of Eau d'Extrait. Maybe I have missed something along the lines here, but I've never heard Eau d'Extrait. Comment down below if I'm a complete idiot about this. But I don't know, it sounds, I think it's made up, but who knows? It's one of those two things. But presentation on this is not too bad. It's got the kind of like cutout cardboard insert here, which adds a little bit of character to it, and it has the Khalta Lattafa in gold right there. Fun fact, Khalta in Arabic from my super scientific research translates to a mix of things, a blend of things. It's kind of used as a term more in like cooking, but like a mixture of things. And again, if I got that wrong, comment down below and let me know. But that's kind of how this fragrance comes across. But presentation, normal cardboard box, nothing too special. The bottle on this is a little unique. It's got this kind of like cutout design that's going along the bottle here. Very kind of modern art, nothing too fancy, but nothing too ugly. So it's, you know, an average presentation for this. It is kind of a cheap-ish plastic to it, and it's got the glass bottle on the inside. Cap on this, got a little bit of weight to it, and it's a little bit thicker plastic, but it is still kind of a cheaper plastic. So if you are a little rough with this bottle, you might break it. So you just got to be careful with it. But overall presentation is not bad. It has the blend of Lattafa right up top on the cap there. So overall, for a $25 fragrance, not too bad with the presentation, nothing too special, nothing too mind-blowing, but also something that's not embarrassing to have on your shelf, so not too bad. So when it comes to the scent profile of Khalta Lattafa's blend of Lattafa, this is one of the more unique fragrances I have experienced from the Lattafa line and in my collection and as a whole, to be quite honest. How this one opens up is a very spicy, smooth, silky style of rose. It's rather quite nice, and if you've been following my channel for a little bit, you know I'm very hesitant when it comes to rose style fragrances. They actually kind of scare me a little bit when I know it's going to be a rose style of fragrance. But I find this one to be not your grandma's perfume, not that kind of potpourri, not leaning way floral feminine. This one kind of still sits in that masculine range, and for me and what I kind of enjoy, this is a doable rose for me. It has this level of spice to it. It has like kind of a saffrony, leathery, cinnamon style of spice that comes through with this, mixing with this smooth, silky, dense style of rose. And it's a very, very interesting combo. There's also some earthiness that kind of comes through with this. And again, I'm not sure what the notes are in this fragrance, but it has this sort of earthiness that starts to come through that adds some sort of like darkness and some depth to it. It's just a very, very interesting opening, and it's very rose forward. As this kind of unfolds and begins to open up a little bit more, this transitions a lot from the opening to the dry down. But once it starts to open up a little bit more, I really get this boozy accord that comes through. Again, I'm not sure if there's like a rum or a cognac note that's in this, but there's this level of booziness that comes through that's almost like a fermented fruit mixed with some spices that just adds this like almost overbearing at times level of booziness with that spicy rose sitting on top and a little bit of sweetness coming through with like some vanilla or some amber, some sort of kind of warm sweetness from the base. It's very, very interesting, that booziness that comes through. Again, for me, it was almost overbearing. It was almost too much for me, where I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this. But as this starts to dry down, that booziness does settle down a little bit. It does kind of calm, and you get that spicy rose that kind of stays for that ride. And what you get is like a really nice powderiness that comes through. I'm not sure if there's like some orris root in here, or if it's just kind of like some powdery amber that comes through in the base, or if it's some saffron leather that's mixed with there that kind of, again, adds a little bit of kind of some dryness to it, a little bit of powderiness to it. Really quite nice on the dry down. It has this kind of a little bit of touch of woods, still maintains that spice, that earthiness, that dark mysteriousness to it, with that spicy rose, with that sweetness on top, and it still has that silky sort of edge to it, that darkness, that kind of depth and that smoothness to it. Very, very interesting fragrance, quite intriguing. Again, it was such a wild ride from the opening to that mid where it got boozy all the way to the dry down. It was just a transition through so many different phases before we finally are left with that final fragrance. And it's just a very unique, a very interesting scent profile, and what a wild ride. Now, when it comes to the performance of Blend of Lattafa, this one is borderline beast mode. This might even be considered a beast mode fragrance because longevity is pretty good, about 8 hours off my skin before it became a skin scent. But let me tell you, the first 2 to 3 hours of this projected hard and loud. That spicy rose was blasting off of me for the first little while. When I first got this fragrance in, I was gonna do some testing. I had already put on a fragrance that day, so I wasn't gonna wear it. So I got some test strips and I, sprayed a few in the air and was just testing this out. I couldn't stay in this room because I blasted myself out at that point. I had like 6, 7 sprays in here on some tester strips in the air, like I said, and it was too much. I had to leave the room for a little bit and come back because it was just a spicy rose bomb went off in here, and the projection on this, super, super loud. So when I did finally get a time to actually start wearing this and start testing it out on my skin throughout the day, I took it easy on the sprays. I had like 2, 3 sprays, like one behind each ear and one on my chest. And that was enough to do me because I could just feel this blasting off. It was just like a spicy rose bomb coming off me. So projection on this was monstrous for the first 2, 3 hours, and then it did settle in a lot closer after that, and it did become kind of more of an intimate scent. But that, like I said, I was nuclear for the first couple hours there. And again, longevity was pretty good, about 8 hours on this, so I was not disappointed with the performance on this. And you gotta be a little bit careful or else you're gonna choke people out with your spicy rose. So you've been warned. If you do try this out, performance on this, pretty strong in the first 2, 3 hours. Now, when it comes to occasions, I definitely think this is kind of more of a special occasion style of fragrance. You can wear this formally. I think this would be okay for date nights. A casual fragrance, okay, like you do you, don't let me tell you how to wear your fragrances. But this just has such like a complex, unique style of scent profile that I feel this is not like an easy dumb reach fragrance. This is not something you just kind of throw on before you're gonna go out for lunch or run some errands or something like that. It's got this level of kind of mysteriousness to it, like I said, that uniqueness to it, that this is kind of more suited for our special occasion, in my opinion. Like I said, date night, evenings out, fancy formal event of some sort, I think this would be probably better suited, but you do you. If you wanna wear this casually, go for it. Just my opinion. Cold weather fragrance for sure. I think this is a fall and winter banger. Absolutely, that's where this one is going to shine best. This does push out quite hard, and in the cool weather, it just has that kind of cool weather vibe, definitely evening style vibe. I think in the summer, this would be ridiculously cloying. I think this would be way too much in the summer. I think this would radiate off too much. You'd have too much spicy rose up in your nose and it'd be too hot outside and you would hate it, and everyone around you would probably hate you too with your blasting spicy rose in the summer day. So cool weather fragrance, fall, winter, that's where I think this is best suited. Evenings out, formal events, date nights, this will shine. So my overall thoughts on Khalta Lattafa's Blend of Lattafa is, this has kind of grown on me as time has gone on, as I've worn this a handful of times now. When I first got this, I was just like, oh crap, I got another rose fragrance that I'm never gonna wear again. This is too weird, this is too complex. This is not for me. But I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to kind of step out on a limb. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone and really sink my teeth into this fragrance. I didn't have any notes going into this. I knew this would be a rose fragrance because that was like one of the only descriptors on the website. But aside from that, I did not know what I was getting into. And once I smelled this for the first time and realized how like complex and unique and like interesting this fragrance was, I really wanted to try and dissect this, really try and figure out the notes that are in this, what makes this kind of tick. And it was quite a wild ride, let me tell you. Like I said, from that opening where you get that spicy, leathery style of rose that kind of transitions into this booziness that starts to happen. And then in the base where you get that kind of powderiness that comes through with that warm amber and some vanilla with some like white florals to add a little bit of sweetness to it. While the whole time you get this spicy rose that's super smooth and silky and dark and dense and mysterious that kind of floats its way through with all those different notes. Really, really interesting fragrance, and I enjoy the artistic aspect of it. I enjoy the quality of juice that's in here. I think this is a really nice quality of juice that's in there. There's nothing cheap smelling about this. But this is a challenging fragrance. This is not going to be for everybody. This is not a blind buy style fragrance. If you do not like rose fragrances, do not touch this fragrance because you will not like this fragrance. If you like rose style fragrances, this still might be a little bit challenging for you. But if you want to kind of step out and challenge yourself, experience a very kind of artistic, unique, complex style of fragrance, I think Khalta Lattafa's Blend of Lattafa will give you that experience. And I think for the $25 to $40, it might be worth the risk, worth the gamble, worth picking up. That's Khalta Lattafa's Blend of Lattafa. And I want to hear from you guys. What's one fragrance in your collection that really challenged you at the beginning, but has sort of grown on you as time's gone on? So let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Love all your different experiences and your different recommendations. So go down below, let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.